What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the 310 React series. Today we have a sent in video, but it doesn't really count because Dad and Abby sent it to me. So at the beginning of March, they went to a ranch roping. They went to the Plains, Oklahoma ranch roping. It was about an hour from Ardmore where they're at. And we didn't do so hot. So I'm going to break down one of their runs that they sent me. It was kind of one of those heartbreaking runs, and we've had quite a bit of those over the years. But I will say, if you like videos like the 310 React series, you need to check out 310 EDU. So basically what I'm going to do to their run in this video, which is break down each and every catch and miss, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. There's tons of that content at 310 EDU, and it's from Guapo runs, it's from branding, Head and Heel brandings, it's Abby's footage, Dad's footage, my footage, and I basically sit there and talk about the missed opportunities or the excellent execution that you see in the footage. It's a great learning tool. Check out 310edu.com. Let's jump right into the video here. So, we got to get that music off of there. Not a huge fan of the music that was playing during their run, but that's okay. I got a little bit of a different style than most people. More of a AC/DC while I'm in the arena. You know what I mean? A little thunderstruck, get me going. So the calf they're hunting for here is this red calf right here in the herd. Abby's setting up a Houlihan, which is exactly what I would probably do. Try to reach out, pick one off if it's going to stand on the outside of the herd like that. So right here, what she's setting up, and if you haven't seen this in our 310 EDU videos, she's setting up a right to left Houlihan. So basically the angle of this for your swing is going to be a flat loop over the top of her head. You want it to fly in the air kind of like a Frisbee, and then you want to be really fast on your slack. So she executes that perfectly. A little slow on the slack, and the calf stepped through 1 foot, but not a big deal. We can totally control the calf from where we're at. So now basically Abby's job is to get short. So she's going to kind of let the calf fight a little bit. So Dad and Reed will basically help her get short by just kind of blocking the herd back to a corner, and she can kind of slip in there behind this calf. They'll just roll the herd right around her here, keep everything put together, and then when she comes out, she'll be to the horn, and everything should come out clean. Now, I will say with these ranch ropings, sometimes it's kind of got to be your day. Right? So right here, as you can see on the right-hand side of our screen, we have Dad coming in for a forehand turnover. So immediately what you're going to see Reed do is he's going to see that, and he's going to come to the left side to block the calf back. Now, I'm going to start by saying my first critique of the whole thing. Abby did perfect. She got short. They controlled the herd. It's textbook right there. Dad is a mile away for this forehand turnover. It's a really, really long shot here. Not to mention, if you look, the calf's legs are spread apart. So that calf is sucked back on that rope. So he's got to get that rope in there really deep because the calf's legs are spread really far apart. And because Abby has the calf roped by a neck and a front leg, as the calf sucks back, it's pulling that right front leg. And so its belly is getting closer to the ground. So there is not really much margin for error here. Not to mention the calf's kind of thrashing around. That makes it even more difficult. So one thing I find myself doing in these types of situations when the calf is moving around like that is I'll usually throw my shot from way too far away, and then I don't just send it. I don't full send it like I should. And that's what happens here. So Dad, he's going to throw his shot. And it's only going to come in, if you look, it's only going to come in around that back right leg, which not a big deal. You got no points off in this roping for only catching 1 foot, but it's sitting a little bit high on that calf's toe. So if you'll watch, when Abby goes to turn, that calf jumps and kicks his rope right out of there, which is really just a heartbreaker. It was a good shot. The shot was technically thrown really well. He was just really far away and clutched it just a little bit. Like didn't just absolutely just throw a Hail Mary, which that's kind of how far he was. And that just happens sometimes. So Reed has a shot right here, and it goes in The only problem with this shot is that his loop was a little too small for this calf. And the way that everybody kind of has their own flavor of turnover, the way they throw their turnover. I like to throw mine from the sky. I like to travel. It's going to travel from the right to the left regardless. But I like mine to make contact with the calf like this, like towards the ground, especially a big fat calf like this, because it really shoots your tip way underneath the cow. So because of that, the calf wallers a little bit. Abby's kind of trying to walk that calf into that loop, and the calf just kind of wallers, and it just falls right off, which, again, unlucky. So they're going to set it back up. They still have plenty of time. In these ropings, you have 5 minutes to get it done. So they got an eternity to still work here. So Dad's going to slip up there for another forehand turnover. Again, really long shot. Comes in a little shallow, and the calf steps on it and splits its hoof, his toes, split the rope. And when that happens, you can pretty much ride it off. It's going to pull right out of there. So again, if we go back and look at Dad's shot again, because of the calf's flight zone, he's throwing, I don't know how far this is, but like a 15-foot turnover hip shot is a freaking bomb. Like, that is a long way to throw a turnover hip shot. Not really a head shot, but that hip shot, the loop needs to stay really, really big for that hip shot, especially on a fat calf like this. So it just kind of comes in there. Once again, perfectly thrown as far as the actual loop. It's beautiful in the air. It just doesn't work out for him, which is very unfortunate. The only thing that I would do different there is quite simply try to get a little bit closer, I think. But if the calf doesn't allow that, you're trying to get in as many shots as you can to try to get the calf caught. And at these ropings, you're judged on how fancy your loop is. So sometimes you got to throw a Hail Mary and just hope it works out. So Reed's going to slip back in here. Looks like he's got a turnover locked. And that just, honestly, when that happens, he just didn't throw it far enough. And that's kind of a theme in this video, is everything that they're throwing is really far. And if you're going to throw really far, you got to freaking sell out on that thing. Like, you got to throw it as high and as far as you possibly can to try to get it there. So Dad's going to try for a backhand turnover here. This shot is even more difficult to throw at long distances. It's very awkward when you throw a backhand turnover. And so if you throw one like this far as he is from the calf right now, you have to absolutely contort your body in a weird way and try to throw it as high as you possibly can to get the distance out of it. And that one just kind of wads up on his back. So right here, in my opinion, let's see the time frame. Reed, I'm going to pick on you here a little bit. So this is a big deal in ranch roping, guys. This is a big deal right here. So Reed comes in, and at 2 minutes and 28 seconds, he has missed his shot. Not a big deal. It's okay to miss. So now let's see how long we got here. So, the calf's kind of standing on it. So he gets his rope free. The calf was standing on it. I'll give you that. So at 2 minutes right there and 34 seconds, his rope is free. So right here, if we simply use the trick, I will link this trick below. I made a video on how to rebuild faster and put it on the 310 EDU channel. You can go watch it. I'll link it below. Go watch that. Give us a subscribe over there. Right here, this would change the whole game. So Dad throws his shot. He misses. He gets his rope out of there. We're 6 seconds away, and 6 seconds now. That's an eternity. That's a long time when it comes to rebuilding a loop. If Reed would have just flicked that Honda to him and caught it and rebuilt his loop faster, he could be throwing a shot in because the calf's not moving, right? Like, now we're both rebuilding. Now we're just burning time. So we're still, what did I say, 234? So Dad has rebuilt and is about to throw another shot, which this is a good one. That's a great hip shot. There's no reason why this shouldn't catch, but sometimes it just hit in your day. And the calf just kind of wallers. He misses feet. I mean, it just happens sometimes throwing hip shots. So Reed, my note to you right there, dude, rebuild faster. The best roper in the pen is the guy who rebuilds the fastest. Get that thing cock locked and ready to rock. Here we go. Reed's going to throw that. So that isn't a roping shot. Reed, don't do that. If it's not set up, I know it feels like you're almost out of time, but you still have 1 minute and 45 seconds. If you just let that calf settle at the herd back there and don't throw I would call that a slop shot is what I call it. So the calf's at the herd. So if we just let them settle there for half a second, right, actually get into position and just throwing your loop at the calf's feet, even if you feel like you're in a hurry, typically is not going to work out. It's going to be that result. That hip shot that Dad threw was a good hip shot. He just, honestly, it's a very unlucky run because every shot he's thrown has gone in. There's been areas for opportunity for sure, but the fact is sometimes your rope just has to catch. So now we're getting the calf set up again for something just to get the job done here. And I think, if I remember correctly, he's going to throw a karate chop here. So we're going to adjust from a forehand, and we're just going to go to a get her done shot. And so that goes in. This also would have been slops if he'd have took it, which honestly, in their situation with as much time as they have, I probably would have just left that in there. But because that rope hung on that calf's tail head and didn't fall behind it, we would consider that a slop shot for us. But in the art of just getting a time, because in these ropings, if you get calves down, you get a time, you get a score. If you time out, it's not a good deal. But he pulls it out. So that's just a personal call. Sometimes you do that. And the irritation level is probably super high at this point. So we tried a little scoop shot there. Once again, it's kind of slops. Probably should have just dropped in for a trap or thrown a karate chop as well. But in the heat of battle, you have a hard time. So now we're just going to go straight to a get her done here. And honestly, I don't even know what happened here. Because the calf, if you watch the rope, so it goes in, it's almost like, so the calf steps over it with his back left foot, and then it just like kicks out. It just turned into a cobbled up deal. And lots of times those polys will do that if you're rushing, but I'm not really seeing a ton of rushing here. I think that back left hind kind of kicked the rope and just knocked it to the ground. And that'll happen with the polys. It's tough sometimes when it comes to that sort of deal. So here we go. Reed's going to try to hit a trap here. We probably should have audibled to this earlier, and you can't really see that shot, but now he's got a leg, and we can get some groundwork done. So really just, man, there were some missed opportunities for sure, like how far we were throwing our turnovers and stuff. But honestly, at the end of the day, sometimes this just happens. And it's good to watch people who are good ropers, legitimately good ropers, go in and struggle sometimes. Like there's a lot of learning opportunities from this and how we, kind of adjust ourselves to the situation that's happening. So if you're feeling like the calf is moving around a lot and you're going to have to throw from really far, my advice for that would be to sell out. Throw the biggest, farthest turnover you've ever thrown and put your whole body into it, because to get it all the way to where it needs to be, to get it to blow through that far on a calf that has its legs stuck in the ground like that, you're going to have to throw an absolute bomb. Once again, I say this in all the videos, hindsight is 20/20. It's really easy to sit here and break down this video because I wasn't there. And if I was there, I would still show it if I threw the same shots. But keynote takeaways, rebuild fast, like super fast. Like you should have a loop built in 5 seconds, period, after a miss. Once your rope is free of the calf, you should be able to rebuild like that. Don't throw any slop shots. Take the time to set it up. If you take the time it takes less time. And then when you're throwing long bombs, absolutely sell out to them. Abby, nice work on the head. That's a heartbreaker. It's tough sometimes when it's like that, but I've been in your shoes, buddy. Anyways, guys, thank y'all so much for watching the 310 React series. I'll see you in the next video.